Never buy these Southwest Florida new builds. If you're thinking about buying or building new construction homes in Southwest Florida, this video could save you thousands. I'm going to walk you through the exact types of new builds that I'd personally never buy because after years in the industry, I've seen what can go wrong. Let's get into it. Now, it's no surprise that so many buyers are leaning towards new construction right now. On average, these homes often cost less than resale. They come with fewer maintenance headaches, and builders are offering some of the best incentives we've seen in years. But here's the trade-off. Those benefits don't tell the whole story. The type of builder you choose and the way you buy can make all the difference, and that's where we'll start. Let's start with one of the biggest mistakes I see people make, assuming that buying from a big national builder means you're getting peace of mind. Here in Southwest Florida, the three mega builders are D.R. Horton, Pulte, and Lennar. They build a huge share of homes in our area, and overall, their product is usually pretty good. But let's be clear. These are preset floor plans with standardized packages. What you get is often more of a cookie cutter home. The homes are functional, the systems generally work, but the biggest complaints I hear are about quality of finishes and craftsmanship. Things like sloppy paint lines, uneven tile, or trim work that just doesn't feel polished. These aren't things that will make the home fall apart, but if you're expecting custom level quality, you won't find it here. Then we've got the big builders. Neal Communities, Taylor Morrison, Toll Brothers, GL Homes, KB Home, LGI Homes, Miranda Homes, and Meritage Homes. Some of these, like Taylor Morrison, Toll Brothers, and GL Homes, are known for higher end finishes and better upgrade options. Others, like Meritage or Miranda, lean more towards entry level, first time buyer price points with simpler finishes. But regardless of which ones you go with, all of these operate on a templated cookie cutter model. Unless you're buying their top tier upgrade package, the base models often feel pretty basic compared to what you saw in the model home. One of my recent clients took my advice and hired a private home inspector before closing on a new build. The inspector found an issue with the roof system that the builder's rep never mentioned and that the homeowner never would have spotted on their own. That one inspection saved them thousands before closing. And it's exactly why I always recommend third-party inspections, even with these mega builders who might push back on it. Now let's talk about something most buyers don't even realize is possible. Putting down tens of thousands and getting stuck with a half-finished home. This has happened right here in our area. BD Construction was once a big local name. They took deposits from hundreds of families, partially built homes, and then collapsed into bankruptcy. Buyers were left scrambling with half-built shells of homes. And it's not just big locals. Smaller one-off builders, the ones who only put up, one or two spec homes at a time, can run into cash flow problems just as easily. If they run out of cash, you're the one left holding the bag. The consequences? You could lose your deposit, spend years tied up in legal battles, or end up hiring another builder at a much higher cost just to finish the job. And here's the kicker. Taking over an unfinished project is a headache most builders don't even want because they don't know if the original work was done correctly. That uncertainty often means extra costs for you. If you want to save yourself from costly headaches, avoid being the very first buyer in a new community. Not necessarily the bigger communities by the big box ones, but the smaller communities by the one-off builders and the local smalls. And that's not just because of the risk, but because those first homes are often on the least desirable lots. Yes, you'll usually get the lowest price, but as the community grows, the better lots are sold and prices go up. Also, if you're doing a true custom build, not a big box builder home, structure your contract with milestone-based payments instead of one giant deposit. Here's an insider tip. Builders often give their best incentives at the end of a quarter or near year end, especially in October and November. Why? Because they need to close out inventory and free up cash flow. If you time it right, you can save tens of thousands. Next, let's talk about builder upgrades. Because the model home looks amazing, but nobody tells you what that actually costs. Most model homes have well over $100,000 in upgrades built into them. What you see in the model is not what you'll get at the base price. In reality, you should really plan to add at least $50,000 to $60,000 in upgrades if you want your home to look even close to what you saw during the walkthrough. I've seen upgrades like hard surface flooring in bedrooms, upgraded light fixtures, accent walls, and higher end countertops, things buyers often assume come standard, only to learn they're extra. And here's another tip. If you want a pool, don't just default to the builder's pool contractor. In many cases, hiring your own pool company after closing can save you $30,000 to $50,000. Builders charge a hefty premium for pools because they know buyers want convenience. And here's something most builder reps won't tell you, but you can ask for, and many will do it. If you are considering having a third party come in and build your pool, some of the builders will actually allow you to roll that into their mortgage if you're going through their lender. but most of them aren't going to tell you this up front, so make sure you ask. Here are my top 3 tips to help you save the most money. First, finance only the things you can't change later, like floor plan extensions or structural options. One of the things I typically recommend is if you're planning to get an outdoor kitchen at some time in the future, make sure you have the plumbing, the gas, and the electrical already run there, because that can be very costly for a contractor to come in and do that after the fact. Second, handle cosmetic upgrades after closing with local contractors. Things like fixtures, lighting, sometimes backsplashes, and things like that are a lot cheaper if you do it outside afterwards. And third, always get pricing outside the builder before committing. This can take a little bit of time, but it's worth it if you have it. And by the way, this is exactly why I work so closely with my clients through the new construction process. From negotiating with builders to showing you where you can save thousands on upgrades, pools, or incentives, I help you cut through the noise and avoid the traps most buyers fall into. So if you're even thinking about buying new construction in Southwest Florida, reach out to me. No pressure, just an open conversation to help you line up your best options and avoid costly mistakes. Let's switch gears for a second, because a lot of buyers fall in love with the community amenities, but don't realize what comes with them. Here's the reality. Those amenities come with higher HOA fees and stricter rules. But that's not always a bad thing. Sometimes those fees include things like lawn care, landscaping, cable and internet, or access to resort-style amenities like pools, gyms, spas, or even on-site restaurants. If you add all of that up separately, you might actually pay more out of pocket than the HOA itself. The real key is understanding what's included and who's managing the HOA. Some communities are still controlled by the builder, some get handed off to the residents, and others are run by professional management companies. Each setup comes with a very different level of quality, oversight, and accountability. For example, the Wild Blue community in Fort Myers is currently in litigation over a $15 million land erosion issue caused by Hurricane Ian. Only a small portion of the homes were affected, but the costs are being split among all residents through assessments. While that cost may eventually be recouped through litigation, it's a real reminder that HOA ownership can come with unexpected risks. This is what I suggest. Read HOA documents thoroughly before you buy, and then take it even a step further and read the meeting agendas and minutes. These are public records and can reveal current litigation, upcoming projects, and member concerns. And lastly, talk to residents about their experience, not just the sales stuff. I've had clients avoid thousands in unexpected assessments just by reviewing the HOA financials and minutes before closing. That's a step most buyers completely skip, and it can make all the difference. And finally, the most expensive mistake buyers make, assuming the county inspector or builder walkthrough is enough. The truth is, county inspectors are overworked and builder walkthroughs are designed to push you towards closing, not to protect you. One Fort Myers couple moved in only to discover $80,000 in structural issues the builder refused to fix. All of it could have been caught if they'd had an independent inspection before closing. And remember that story I mentioned earlier? A client of mine recently took my advice and hired a private inspector before closing. That inspector found an issue with the roof system that would have cost thousands to repair. The builder fixed it before closing, saving my clients a huge headache. Here's what I recommend. Always hire a third-party inspector at multiple stages. Pre-drywall, final walkthrough, and again at the 11-month mark. Document all issues in writing before closing, and then push back if the builder tries to limit your inspection rights. And believe me, some of them do. Here's a little trick that can save you weeks of regret. Before you sign anything, find the community's Facebook group. The glossy brochures and polished websites only tell you what the builder wants you to hear. But in private Facebook groups, you'll find the real story. Residents talk openly about delays, poor warranty service, rising fees, and construction shortcuts. Now also keep in mind that some of these conversations can be unfiltered, and some of them do have the negative Nancy's. You'll also hear about which builders stand behind their product and which ones don't. Here's what I do. Search community name plus Facebook group in the Facebook search. Go through, read the recent posts, not just the old ones. And then ask residents what they do differently if they bought again there. I use this trick myself for every client. It's like having a private look behind the curtain at what living there is really like. And if you're out of state, don't be afraid to ask your agent to do virtual walkthroughs of a community at different times of the day to see what the activity is like there. That's something that I do for all my clients. So here's the bottom line. Buying new construction in Southwest Florida can be an amazing experience, but only if you know how to avoid the traps. From builders cutting corners to hidden HOA risks to inspection oversights, these are all the things I help my clients navigate so they can move forward with confidence. And this video just scratches the surface. If you want the full playbook, check out my masterclass on buying new construction homes in Southwest Florida coming up next. It covers all the hidden costs, insider strategies, and negotiation tips you need to know before signing a contract. And of course, if you're even thinking about buying new construction here, feel free to reach out. No pressure, just an open conversation about your options so you can make the best decision for you and your family. Watch the masterclass next, and I'll see you there.